Buenas noches y bienvenidos a nuestro programa Expresión Latina. Como cada semana estamos con ustedes desde el estudio de Plaza Latina, segundo piso. Estamos en la 24 y la O. Como toda la semana estamos con mi amigo y compañero. ¿Qué tal, Mario? ¿Cómo estás?
Mejor, como tú sabes que estuve un poquito enfermito con una gripe horripilante y luego tomé unas vacaciones en México por 7 días. Que
Le hizo muy bien las vacaciones.
Sí, hombre, hermoso, por primera vez, pero es una nación linda, sinceramente.
Así es. Bueno, y hoy día estamos, como pueden ver ustedes, con dos amigos nuestros, dos invitados especiales. Estamos muy contentos de tener con nosotros a Sean Jaden y también está con nosotros hoy día Lauren Blake. El programa de hoy vamos a hacer la transición para el idioma inglés, para nuestra audiencia de habla inglés. So, we're very excited today having our two friends. We met them at the second political convention that Harlem Working Center organized, and that was a very nice event. Let me start with Lauren Blake. How are you, sir? Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm doing great, and thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and also Chen Jaden we're glad to have you here too.
Well, thanks for having us. We're happy to be here.
Mario, we normally start introducing our special guests. Let them to tell us about your background.
I think it's good. Sure.
Tell us about who you are, what do you do. Let me start from my left in here. Sean, please.
Well, thanks. Yeah, my name is Sean Jaden. I'm originally from Omaha. I graduated from Westside High School. And after I graduated, I went down to Arkansas, where I went to college at Hendrix College and studied international relations. After my time there, I was very lucky and I had the opportunity to go down to Colombia, where I was working on a master's in conflict resolution and peace processes down at the Pontificia Universidad Javeriana in Bogota. That was a great opportunity to learn about the world, and then I came back here and I was lucky enough to get involved with the Heartland Worker Center. So now I am a new organizer, a new community organizer, and it's been great. I'm just learning a lot about the work we do in the community. It's been a really good opportunity.
Also, now you are going to know why he has a perfect Spanish, okay?
Not perfect, but
perfecto, así que...
Oh, did you tell them that you live in Colombia for about 3 years?
Sí, I was down in Colombia for about 3 years in between Bogota and Cali. So, like you said, it's a very beautiful place, very beautiful nation. I can't wait to go back.
Wonderful. Lauren, please tell us about your background, who you are, what do you do?
Well, my name is Lauren Blake. I'm a native of Omaha, Nebraska. I graduated from Central High School. Went to UNO for Black Studies and Business Management. Traveled the country for about 20 years and decided to come and continue my education.
Nice.
I have a love for Omaha history, and I specialize in early 20th century Black history. But I started working at the Heartland Worker Center as a community organizer, and we had the opportunity to blend communities. And Sean and I are working tirelessly to get that completed.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's great to have you here. Mario, do you want to start with the questions right now?
Oh, sure.
Before doing the question, let us send our thanks to Sergio Sosa and Abby in there and Lucia for allowing us to have these people today with us. They are organized from the Harlem Worker Center. So, un saludo para Sergio.
I also like to say thank you very much, Tony Vega in La Plaza Latina on the 24th and O. It's a nice place. You guys need to come and shop around. We need to help la gente nuestra.
Absolutely. So, how did you get involved with the Harlem Working Center?
Good question.
How that came about?
You want to start with this?
Yes. During the 2017 municipal elections, there was a Get Out the Vote campaign. And the Heartland Worker Center, in conjunction with Black Votes Matter, decided to collaborate. And so some of the youth, the young leaders, Young Nebraskans in Action from the South Omaha area came to canvass in North Omaha. So we grouped together, knocked on doors, and informed the community that there was a vote coming up and that your vote is important. And the collaboration just continued. And once I saw this, I thought this was one of the most historic moments I had ever seen of two communities coming together. And at that point, I started bugging Sergio and Abby and Lucia and let them know I wanted to be a part of the team.
Great. Thank you for sharing that with us. Sean?
Well, mine's a little bit shorter how I got involved. I've only really been here about a month, so I'm still learning. When I got back from Colombia, I reached out to another great organization. It's called Justice for Our Neighbors.
Yes.
I'm sure you guys are familiar with them. I sent them my resume and I asked them if they had any opportunities because I know that we have such a big Hispanic population in Omaha and a lot of good things are happening with the Hispanic population in Omaha, and I thought I would want to get involved. Unfortunately, they didn't have any job opportunities, but I guess that ended up being a good thing because they passed my resume on to Sergio Sosa, and he called me one day and invited me down to get to know the organization, to learn a little bit more about what they do, and he started sharing these ideas with me about how they're working with the Latin American population in Omaha and how they are, they seek to create this collective power, un poder popular, como me dijo. And I thought that was just a wonderful way to get involved, and it's a great way to go ahead and empower the community. And, it goes a little bit along with what I had studied in South America, the same concepts, and I couldn't help it. I had to dive right in.
We are so glad that you guys are being part of this wonderful organization. Mario, that's right.
I have a question for both of you, as a matter of fact. The Harlem Workers Center, obviously we know it's an organization that's been around for quite a few years. Now, both of you belong to the Harlem Workers Center. Is it this organization between the Hispanics or Latinos and African Americans, is this a coalition or is this organization just an umbrella? Or what is it?
Well, I think that first of all, that's a great question.
Thank you.
In terms of whether it's an umbrella organization or a coalition, I guess how I would answer that is that maybe it's neither. If anything, it's a coalition. Right. As an organization, what we are seeking to do is organize the community. We are seeking to get more people involved. We are seeking to let the people understand that the power is actually in their hands and to create some sort of collective power in the neighborhoods. With this new initiative to have North and South Omaha work together, in a way you could say it's a coalition between the communities, and in a way we could just say we're trying to form one bigger organization, have each neighborhood and each community step up and get involved and understand that the power is actually in the hands of the people. Lauren, how would you add to that?
I would probably also say that it's a relationship. And it's a relationship that's being built between the North and South Omaha communities that already has begun in May with the 2017 election, Get Out the Vote campaign. And this is just a continuing relationship. I'm not sure if I'd classify it as an umbrella, like you said. I'm not sure if I'd even classify it as a coalition, because this is not only North Omaha, South Omaha, African Americans, Latinos. This is our city, this is our state, these are all of our communities. So I believe it's a relationship.
I definitely agree with that. It's a great way to put it.
How I see it, Mario, this is part, obviously, the expansion that the Centro Laboral is having through the years. It's a very focus in these areas, South Omaha. They are expanding, and now I really enjoy seeing the Latino convention that we had last week, seeing how people from the different neighborhoods are being empowered and being able to show what they are doing in their own neighborhood, and I really love that. And also I really enjoy seeing our brother from the North Omaha, African American brother, were there. So that is telling me that this is, as you said, well said, is part of this expansion, looking relationship within the communities, and I think that is a brilliant thing to do, because we need to go into that kind of empowering people. Now, do we have any idea about how the Latino population has been growing in North Omaha?
Well, one thing that we found during the campaign and as we were canvassing is that North Omaha was not an African American monolithic group. The more doors you knocked on, the more you realize that there are Latinos here, there's Africans here, there's African Americans here, there's Asians here. But we started to recognize that there is a large Latino population. And one thing that was really great about the Heartland Worker Center is that we had Spanish-speaking volunteers with us. And so we had an opportunity to connect. But the Latino population in North Omaha is growing. And I really don't see any stop to that. It's just going to continue,
It seemed to me,
and it works great.
it seemed to be bigger than we can imagine, because you didn't think about 10 years ago. But right now, the change is really big, isn't it?
In my experience working with the Latino population in North Omaha, what I've been seeing is that every time I have an interaction with somebody and we're building these relationships up there, they all have been saying that, you know, the population is just exploding. And a lot of times they feel like they're not necessarily recognized. And, you know, traditionally we have thought of North Omaha maybe as like an African American part of town, an African American community, but as my partner Lauren said, it couldn't be further from the truth. Right.
Exactly.
We're seeing that there are, you know, what we're calling new American societies, you know, immigrants from all over the world. There's a rapidly expanding Hispanic population up there, and within that population itself are new leaders that are really emerging every day.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. Mario.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that these two communities, yes, they're mixed communities now, like you mentioned. It's true. South Omaha is not only Latinos, there's a bunch of different other groups. But the thing is, what we've seen historically is that these two communities are starting to talk to each other. You know, and it's the beginning of a dialogue.
Yes.
A dialogue that for whatever reason was not done before. We don't want to talk about what other reasons that happened, but the thing is now is the beginning of, could be a coalition, why not, in the future.
Yes.
I think it's time. The political reality in our nation has changed completely. So solutions has to change too. Solution have the possibilities of solution has to change accordingly. So there's nothing wrong with talking about a future coalition between North Omaha, let's put it in South Omaha.
Yes.
Okay, even part of the central or south of 72nd or something like that. I think it's time. I think it's time that these two communities start talking. You know, I know there's going to there's some egos out there. Not only the Hispanic population, but also the African Americans. We still have these egos that, hey, we are the leaders, we were here first, so I think we should lead. No, that needs to change. I think there has to be more conversation, more agreements, and more dialogue. And I think this is really something that is growing.
We're having this great, lively conversation here with our friends, Sean Jaden and Lauren Blake. They are community organizers with the Heartland Working Center. And guys, we are very excited that you are being part of the Heartland Working Center.
Thank you.
Because that is telling us two things. Your interest for working with this community, making this community better, and empowering people. Allow people to take power and knowing that my vote counts. Yeah. Now, what do you think are some of the challenges that your work is having right now?
With North Omaha?
Yes.
I guess I'll start with this one then, if that's all right.
Please.
So I've been a little bit more focused towards the Hispanic population up in North Omaha, and I've had a couple challenges. I think first and foremost is a lot, at least in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, is that a lot of the Hispanic community in North Omaha, while here in South Omaha, everything's very unified. Everybody knows everybody, and they have a really strong sense of community. What I've been seeing a little bit up in North Omaha is that there are many pockets of Hispanic people, but a lot of times the people over here have never met the other Hispanic population over here. They're not as unified, if you will, as what we have here in South Omaha. That's just a matter of time. Another challenge is I think maybe they've had other organizations that may have offered to help them before and just have came up short. And so maybe they're a little weary of the whole situation. Maybe with the administration, they're a little bit afraid of getting involved and kind of getting out and voicing this opinion, this power that they have. Right. Those are the challenges I've seen so far. Lauren?
Good.
I guess one of the main challenges is we need the community to realize that you do have the power. And people don't seem to sometimes realize that you have a voice, even if your voice translates into a vote. But we have to have that vote so we know your voice. Right now, the effort is going slow, but we've been building momentum. I mean, every single day, almost every single hour, we're building momentum. So those challenges of letting the citizens know that you have the power, they're slowly realizing this. And it's absolutely beautiful for both North and South Omaha.
Great to hear that. Wonderful.
Well, I have some questions. You know me, guys. I'd like to challenge you a little bit, and I'm going to ask you, Lauren. My question. I know you're a politician, really, true, just like we are. But please try to be as much as you give us some information. You already know a little bit about the South Omaha population, Hispanics. Yes. What can you tell us about the North Omaha population leaders and so on, concerning or what are their ideas about what's going on with the Harlem Latino? Do they really have any ideas? Are they happy about it? Truly,
I think one of the challenges that the North Omaha community has, and especially with some of our established leaders, is that this is a new concept. People really haven't seen this. We've heard about it for years. There have been many people that said they wanted to do this for years, but it just hasn't been done. And I think there is a slight bit of trepidation that are we going to start this process and it's going to fail? Who's going to end up with egg on their face? Who's not going to be reelected or have their constituents be behind them again? But the beauty of it is that, especially with the Heartland Worker Center, and I'm going to say this from my heart. I do this, from my heart, and the community knows that this is coming from my heart, and the leaders are backing us, and they're slowly wanting to get involved. And one thing that's really very, very, very important is that long as we keep our initiative going, we gain power, and power looks for power, and power wants power. So as long as we keep our initiatives going, the established leaders of the community essentially have no choice.
And mutual goals.
Exactly.
Very good.
Very, very good. Now, in North Omaha, we just said that we are seeing more and more Latinos in there, and my feeling is that little by little you are going to start seeing this blending of these two communities. My question is, how do you see that the African American is reacting to this? Number one. And number two, can you imagine a future with the complete blending of these two groups? How much power we will have in so many areas?
So far, I think that, and for your first question with how the African American population is reacting to it, it's been nothing but positive. It's and the few meetings that we've had so far, one of the main comments from our African American counterparts have been they're so excited to see their Latin, Hispanic brothers and sisters actually stepping up and starting to take some of this power and starting to get involved and starting to voice their opinion, because we're all in this together. This is all of our city. So the city is not going to thrive without everybody voicing their opinion and building it together, building it as one.
Challenges are so similar as well.
Exactly. They're really starting to see that they're in the same boat, in a sense. And can I imagine it? I absolutely can. I think that economically, both of them could thrive up there. Culturally, there's room for everybody. It would be really cool to be able to go up there on North 24th Street, North 30th, and see a Hispanic restaurant right next to an African American type restaurant. Just let us all a cultural melting pot.
This is truth evident of the African American community and the Latino community coming together already.
Yes.
We're doing this now.
Exactly. And Mario, can you imagine the power? We're having such a good time with our friends in here, Sean and Lauren. And guys, you have to come back for sure, okay? We need to get together and kill something.
Next time, bring a little tequila or something.
A little rum, tequila.
Beer, tequila, whatever. That would be better. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that?
We're having a good conversation right now. The last question that we were throwing out was this. Imagine the collective power that we will have if in one moment in the future we can have only one community together, going together. Lauren, it was your turn to think. How do you picture that?
Well, like I said, it's already happening, and it's inevitably going to happen, especially when you have developments in downtown Omaha, expanding downtown Omaha and pushing people further north.
Yep.
And that's eventually going to start happening down south also. And we aren't going to have any choice but to blend together, because we're going to have affordable housing. We're going to have schools that cater to all of our children. The African American community will need to learn how to speak Spanish, because we're going to have commerce that flows between both of the communities. And we're going to have to build this power together. But the wonderful thing is, especially with the political convention that we had last week, these actions are taking place. We are not talking about these actions. These actions are happening. And I definitely see a blending of the communities, because it's happening all over the world as it is.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
Definitely.
it is.
Very good. And obviously, I've been surprised by this young gentleman, Sean Jaden, right?
Yes, sir.
Young guy, bilingual. Oh my gosh, he's got a lot of future. Sean, do you have a future in politics, like running for office, maybe something like that?
You know what?
Or are you going to answer that like most politicians in
Politically.
Washington?
I guess I'm going to have to answer that politically for you. In all honesty, I haven't really thought about it. I've been having such a great time learning here at the Heartland Worker Center, and for now I see myself growing within the Heartland Worker Center and helping the community and working alongside. I would love to see Omaha come together, as we've been talking about. I would love to see Omaha come together economically, socially, culturally. In terms of my future, I don't know. I guess whatever is in store,
Well,
whatever comes my way.
The reason why is because there was a leader, recent President Obama. He started like you.
Started like us. I
That's
guess.
right. Community
He was
organizing.
working,
Yes.
he organized it. He was
Absolutely,
working. Look,
yes.
what, you know, he.
Yes. Good
So,
connection
yes,
there, man.
yeah. So in other words, you can't say no. You're young. You have a future. And, very articulate in Spanish and English. Yes, I think there's a possibility that we might have a possible congressman in the future.
We can
I
nominate
appreciate
you,
it,
John.
I got 2 votes. Sir. I got 2.
You got 3.
I got 3. Thanks, guys.
We
I
have,
appreciate it.
We have Juan Carlos Garcia's vote too. He's not saying anything about that. He's behind.
So you have no idea that this is a historic moment.
Yes.
You never
Yes.
know.
Remember, today is what? It's Thursday, November the 16th, 2017. This is the beginning of Sean's political
That's the
career.
future.
of Jaden and Blake for 20.
There you go.
There you go. Something.
let's go for it.
Sure.
Let's go for it.
20 Mario, I just want to say that this blending that we are seeing already is in part because of the Heartland Working Center has been pioneer in doing this, and Sergio and Abby and Lucia, this is the vision that this guy have, and it is, as you said, it is going on right now. And I just can't imagine how this is becoming more and more natural. But if more people, more organizations keep doing what they are doing, I think we can even accelerate this process, because it's natural, it's inevitable, this is coming, and we are seeing the fruit.
And it's beneficial to both communities.
Absolutely,
Yes.
and the collective
Absolutely.
power, the political power,
Oh my gosh.
the issues, just imagine how we can do so many things. Guys, we have just a couple of minutes. Your last message to the community, please.
You wanna
Both
take
of
that?
them.
My last message to the community: realize that your vote and your voice is loud. Your vote and your voice is important. And as long as you speak up as loud as you can, we can elicit change. And for North Omaha, South Omaha, Omaha, Nebraska, our country, our world, you can make a difference.
Very good.
Thank you. Sean.
Great. I think my closing statement would be, I really want people to understand. I want people to understand that we are all in this together. I want people to understand that no matter where you are, what your background is, how much education you have, who's in your family, you have this political power. You do have, by grouping with your community, you do have este poder popular, this common power, as we would say. I think that people need to understand just the power in the common man and working together, that this is a great nation, this is a great city, and when we come together, there's nothing that can stop us.
Thank you, guys.
Very good.
It has been a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so
so
much.
It's our pleasure.
Great. Mario.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that we have this conversation, and this is the beginning of something that is really going to grow, and I'm sure it will give some fruits in the future.
Yes.
But we definitely need to work together. The reason why is because we need to keep our nation as a democracy, true democracy, not the democracy only for the ones that have money and power, but democracy for the people.
Yes.
It's the Constitution of the United States. So we need to follow that stuff. And we got to do the best because the United States must maintain its leadership in the world. And the way we're going, we're actually failing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mario. So, Sean, Lauren, you have to come back anytime. Please take our agreeing to the Heartland Working Center. Before we go, I just want to say congratulations, Peru. All the hermanos peruanos, felicidades for being part of the new World Cup in Russia. So good for you. And we'll see you guys next week.
One World Community Health Centers is proud to announce that Dr. Mario Sanchez has joined our family medicine practice. Dr. Sanchez believes, "What I enjoy about medicine is providing high-quality medical care, being able to listen to patients' health concerns, spending adequate time with each patient, and taking care of their illnesses," he said. One World Community Health Center, 402-734-4110.